Welcome to Simply Caroline, a podcast dedicated to women empowerment where we will discuss a bunch of different subjects such as life, parenting, love, business, money, relationships, healing, recovery, addiction, entrepreneurship, and so much more. A podcast I'll do my best to keep simple, fun, and relatable and bring you tools to help you better your life. So thank you for being here. And here's your host, myself, Caroline Blanchard. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us again this week. I have a beautiful speaker today, Renee Vasquez. How are you?
Hi, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on. Renee is part of a book that we launched back in November 2023. Powerful Women in Network Marketing share their journey to success. I absolutely love Renee. She is such a ray of sunshine, of energy, of positiveness. So I'm not going to give away her story in the book, but if you don't have the book yet, go get it. It's, 10 women that share their stories, and the chapter from Renee is absolutely amazing. So congratulations for being in the book.
Thank you so much for actually inviting me for this amazing project. It spoke to my heart and I had to say yes.
And I love this. There's just like 20 questions that came to my mind at the same time, but let's dial it back a bit. When I approached you, and I wasn't going to go this way, but I need that. I think that someone needs to hear that. You actually told me, you know what, I was envisioning this. And then when you approached me, it fell into talk about how you envisioned it. And then it happened for you.
Well, I think it all stems back from when I was a child. I would make my own little books and I'd write a title and I'd literally write a whole story based off that title. And I would put by Renee Vasquez or Smith, my maiden name. And I'd hand it to my mom and I'd say, Mom, I want to be an author when I'm older. And she's like, oh, you do? It's one of those things like, good, you can do that, but who knew if it would ever happen? But I always wanted to be an author and tell my story almost from beginning to end and everything in between. And it never felt right. It never really happened. I never really connected with what I would consider the right person, like that I had that meeting of the minds with. And when you reached out to me, I didn't even see the message for like a whole month. And I don't know how I didn't see it, but you know how social media can be, hide your messages sometimes. So when I did see it, and I had to pinch myself because I thought, okay, is this real? I
Yes.
said, let's reach out to her. And so we spoke and we clicked so well. And we were definitely on the same page with the message we wanted to get out there. And yeah, I mean, how could I say no?
And I'm so happy you said yes. And really the message of this book is to be, inspiring, hopeful, and also to give tools to people that are and aren't in network marketing. I mean, it is based on network marketing, but there's life lessons in there that
Absolutely.
take, wherever you go. And especially you were one of the one that, marked me the most, because let's talk about it. You were born with a little, not a little, what am I saying? You were born with challenges.
Many. Yes, many. Yeah. I'm considered what they call labeling, if we're going to talk about a label, a bilateral wheelchair bound amputee. And it all stems back from, when I was born, I had feet, but they formed like right at the end of my knees. One foot was flipped up, the other was under, and there was just no way for me to walk that way. And one leg is longer than the other. And so before I was 1 year old, I had to have many surgeries. I mean, more surgeries than most people have in their lifetime. Fingers separated because in an x-ray, they could see two finger bones, but it looked like one massive finger. That's why my middle nail is a little bit wider. But then they took a skin graft from right here and put it here. They stretched my finger as far as it could go without breaking it. So the tendons and everything, it's just so I could do this. That way my finger wasn't like this for life, because then that would lead to early onset, you know, so joint issues.
Mm.
Um, and then before I was one, my feet were amputated. And right around the age of like 3, I was being fitted for prosthetics. Up until that point, I was in full body casts. I wasn't able to like move. The only thing free was my arms. And so I always had this envisioning thing in my head where it was like, where there was a will, there was a way. And at that age, you know, kids are learning to crawl and learning to walk. And I saw this little banana skateboard, and I was like, if I get my body on top of it and I just lean my weight, at least I can push with my arms. And like, that's how I would get around. And my mom just was like, you just always found a way. There was no complaining. You just looked at it like, okay, this is me. And you have to learn to make things work for you. That's it.
And you kept going like that your whole life.
Yeah, yeah. And because of one leg being longer than the other, I had severe scoliosis that got worse and progressive as I got older. And about what, 20 years ago, I ended up having massive scoliosis surgery. It was a 8.5-hour surgery, face down on a table. And they, you know, went from here all the way down to here. I woke up, I had 69 staples in my back. Um, the way my body was wired and still is, it rejects pain medication. So no pain meds helped me. They just made me feel loopy. So I had to literally bite it and bear it, so to speak, and just push through like I always have. And it was definitely a mind over matter situation in life, but I got through it. And I was literally back up in my prosthetics and walking weeks later. And, you know, doctors are like, no, 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 you're not supposed to be back up on your feet walking until about 4 months. And I said, well, I'm a mom and I don't have time to lay around. Got a little one to run after. So you have to do what you have to do and just be as strong as you can in the process.
Renee, I have goosebumps listening to you because I know some people in my life, you know, that will complain because they have a headache or they have this or they have that,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
like so insignificant, and you're like, oh my goodness, just take a Tylenol.
It
But
must be so hard.
I know exactly. And I met you and I was just like, wow, like first of all, before you told me, I didn't even realize that you know you had challenges or whatever. You are
Yeah,
absolutely gorgeous and you're just like so upbeat.
thank
And
you.
I never heard you complain once. So I think that that's a good lesson for a lot of people listening. You know, just accept yourself the way you are. Stop complaining
Exactly.
about little things
Yeah,
and, you know, take the good in life and just go with it. Because so let's go back to the business,
yeah,
because even that, I've coached so many people in network marketing, and you know, when we made the big switch in 2020 and everyone had to go online mostly, we're going to talk about that in a bit, but I've coached so many people to do lives on social media, and the amount of self-doubt and all of this to go live is just I can't even find the right word. It's a real handicap for most people. And most people, you know, will be giving up at that point because they're like, I just can't do it. And you are there doing lives on makeup and how to put your makeup. And, you know, it's just phenomenal to see. So I really want to say congratulations. You are an inspiration for a lot of people, and for all of them who don't know you, they should know you and really be inspired because you just don't complain.
there's no need to. I mean, the way I see it, life is happening for us, not to us.
Mm.
And things could be so much worse than what they are. And so be grateful for what you have and where you're at, And what a blessing to be able to share you with the world, because there's only one you. And that's the magic. And so put yourself out there. And who gives a damn about what anybody has to say about you? Because honestly, they don't pay your bills. Period.
So well said. So well said. So tell us a bit, because you've been in network marketing for quite a while. And you know what? You need to have thick skin, I think,
Oh yeah.
to be in
Yeah.
network marketing and stay. It's one
Yeah.
thing to get in, but to stay and be successful, that's a whole other ball game. I think that that's why we got the bad rap of it's a scam, just because a lot of people tried it and they're not taking it seriously, and they're not working it as a business. So they're like, well, this doesn't work. But it is a legitimate, true business that you need to work at, and you need to have like different qualities that we don't need in a regular job, because in network marketing, you need to motivate yourself on a daily basis. And
Exactly.
you need to be a good boss to yourself and a good employee to yourself. So let's talk a bit about that. You started 23 years ago. How did it kind of come into your life?
Wow. It's definitely an evolution, and it's definitely a journey. And if you're not enjoying the journey from start to finish, it's like, what are you doing with your life? Seriously. So for me, it really came into my life when I was a single mom and I was working at Glamour Shots. I was one of their top artists there, and they were hiring me to do every skin tone in the book, like from lightest to light to darkest of dark. And I found myself working a lot of hours and standing a lot, which puts a lot of pressure on my lower back and all the things with my hip issues too. So um, I had to like set up my own thing where if I wasn't working on a client, I'd have to sit down and take breaks. But my thing was, I've always loved beauty. I've always loved helping people radiate that from the inside out and helping them find their own beauty from within, and to see people come in and feel a certain way about themselves when they sit in your chair. And then at the end and throughout the whole process, they then look in the mirror and they're like, oh my God, how did you create that? I can't even do that at home in my bathroom. And it's like to see them just light up and look at themselves and see themselves how they should see themselves. That was like my aha moment, my spark of like, I need to find something that I can do for me on my own terms, on my own time, that creates that feeling. Because it's not about the makeup, it's about the confidence that it brings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started looking. And that's when e-commerce was really just popping off left and right. And there were so many different opportunities coming out of the woodwork. And I was like, no, 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 that doesn't suit me. That doesn't suit me. I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know where it was at yet. And so I just kept searching and searching. And then I found the first beauty opportunity that I wanted to be a part of. And it all started there, and it's evolved. And obviously, we know where we were in network marketing, 23 years ago. Um, with
Faxing
the
our orders.
technology, or lack of technology, should I say,
That's what I'm saying. Faxing the orders in.
and meeting people at the coffee shop to talk about your business and things like that. And that used to work back then for that time frame, but as we know, everything always evolves with technology and how we work our business. And that's the really truly beautiful part that I love about where we are right now in this journey in network marketing. The fact that we have access to social media and we have anybody from anywhere right at our fingertips that we can literally help to bless their life with one amazing opportunity that really suits what they're looking for. That to me is my biggest heartbeat type of moment, to see somebody change their life. And I feel like the legacy that we leave behind isn't dictated by how much money we made. It's dictated by the impact that we make, because when you make the impact, the income will follow by default.
That's so well said. So well said.
So,
Um, yeah, and there's the opportunity that you can bring to someone, but there's also just the side of having happy clients. Um,
yes,
because you have tons of clients, and that shows that it's legitimate, and you don't necessarily have to always recruit people. Because I heard that so often, like, yes, network marketing, you just need to recruit people, but it's not that. It's really just a different ways of doing the distribution of a product. And
yeah,
that's when I was talking about the lives that you do. It's basically addressed to the clients and not necessarily to your business partners.
right, right. And I have a love for both worlds in that. I really love bringing on new people and seeing them take the bull by the horns and really run with their business. And then I love helping clients feel super happy with how their skin looks and how they're feeling, and the confidence of finding the right products for them, because that's really what it's all about. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And like I said, the journey of it all, it makes me swoon.
Yes.
It's my love
And
language to help others. It really is.
no, and it shows, it radiates. It's beautiful to see. But you won't put your name behind just any companies. And you know what? You've mentioned it a few times, and that's one thing that I love about you. You know what you
I know.
want, and you
Yes.
go get it.
Yes.
How do you choose a company that you will associate your name with? Because you've changed, uh, you know, you're not with the original company that you were with. So let's talk a bit about that, because some people will see that as failure. And for me, I don't see it as failure. I see it as evolution.
Yes.
So,
Evolution, and honestly, success.
yes,
Because here's the situation. Here's the deal. When you've been doing this as long as I have, and you've been in this profession as long as I have, just like you said, you really know what you want and what you're looking for and what you're not. And you know what you're willing to put your name on and what you're not willing to compromise. And um, logistically, the company that I was with before, it didn't pan out, and that's okay. And I look at it also as being in this industry for as long as I have, you know, it's, I'm trying to find the right words. The right wording would be, um, it's like going around the block, right? And you get your experience under your belt. And once you do that, it's powerful, because then you really know what's out there, because why, you've put your feelers out, you've experienced it. And to me, that's that's a job well done, because now I know what's out there, and now I know what I absolutely want and what I will not tolerate. So I really like that. And it's not failure at all. And I guess I could compare it to, you know, somebody who goes and gets a job. They're not going to be at that job more than likely their entire life. There's going to be something that suits them better, that fits their needs better, that maybe offers better benefits, maybe higher pay, maybe it's a different environment. They feel like they're going to be treated better. So honestly, it's a win. And to me, it's success. And I feel like when I hear somebody who has been around the block, I'm like, hey, you've got the experience, you know what you want. And so life is just, it's one big lesson after another. And you're going to have lessons and you're going to have blessings, no matter which way you slice it. And you don't fail, you learn.
I absolutely love the comparison you just did there. between a job and changing companies and network marketing. I've been in both worlds, and when
Yeah,
you change job, you know, most of the time when you say I change job, you will say what the other job brings you that is better. And you know, people see that as like, wow, you're going up the ladder, or you know, you're
exactly.
bettering yourself. And then in network marketing, a big part of that is very different. When you're
Yeah,
with a company for years and
yeah,
you do believe in it and your heart and soul is in it, but at some point you get to a point in your life where you're like, for whatever reason, and some, you know, stay with the same company forever, but some don't, because there's an evolution and they get to a point of thinking, I want to go for better or for whatever. And it's seen a bit differently. It's seen like, well, you believed in that company so much and now you're changing. What's wrong with you? You know
it's
what I mean?
evolution, baby. It's evolution. I mean, we're always evolving. And you know how people will say, oh, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. Well, I hope not, right? I hope I've grown. I hope I've flourished. I hope I've evolved, because life is constant evolution. And when you feel like something is not right for you and it's not the right fit, why would you continue to torture yourself and stay somewhere that you feel miserable? It's not compatible with who you are and what you need and what you want and what you're ultimately capable of. And when you are looking around and you really find, I mean, there's just things that you have to align with. You have to align with, you know, the CEO. Do you connect with their heart? Do you connect with their mission for the company? Do you connect with the product line? Do you believe in the product line? And logistically, things like the marketing systems, the website, the culture. I mean, there's a lot of things you have to take into accountability and check off that checklist, before you just, I'll just pick this one out of thin air. Okay, but if you didn't do your research and you don't feel fully and completely aligned, there's going to be issues with that. And when people have to move to a different company, I'm like, right on, congratulations. I'm glad you found something that is great for you. People who switch jobs, like you said, they get high-fived all the time. Way to go on that new job. You move to a different company and people say, oh my gosh, oh, you moved to a different company. What? But what? Oh, and then you've got all the questions. It's like, ask away. I'll tell you. I don't have a problem with sharing with you. I know what's best for me, and that's the move I made. Period. End of story.
And I admire you for that, because it's also not an easy feat to move companies when you are in this industry, because unlike a job, you have your own organization, you have built something somewhere,
Right.
and then you have to start back at zero and
Yeah.
build back up from the start. And, some people will also choose comfort and choose to stay where they are and deal with what they don't like, instead of saying, you know what, I'll start back from scratch and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
So
And then I
congratulations.
end up having conversations with those people down the road, and they're like, I should have went to that other company. I shouldn't have stayed. I've been miserable, and
Yeah.
they'll share that with you, and they don't like where they're at, but they feel like, well, I'm here and I've started building something, so I guess I should just stay. But you can definitely tell in how they put themselves out there from that point forward, they're miserable. And it's heartbreaking to see that. It's like, find your joy. And if that means, making a move, that's okay. Like, the persecution has to stop in our industry over that, because it's ridiculous. It really is.
I agree 100%. And I did switch companies like quite a while ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I don't know anymore. Maybe it was yesterday. But I remember how it went from everyone was my best friend to I was the
Oh,
enemy. You
oh,
know, let's talk a
well,
little bit about
let's
that.
talk
Like,
about that, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that it's nuts.
why
It's nuts.
why are we doing this?
It makes me sick to my stomach, to be honest with you, because um we're all supposed to be brothers and sisters in this profession, right? And the way I see it is we're all sort of like interconnected, if you will. And it's really truly a small world in what we do and where we're at. And so when people burn bridges or people attack somebody for doing what's best for them, it's heartbreaking because you built relationships and you thought, wow, I thought they were going to be a little bit more supportive, that I chose to do what was best for me. But no, they almost view you as, you're the enemy. You're not with my company anymore. Therefore, we can't be friends. And I'm like, it on what planet? Who wrote that rule? Because it makes no sense to me. We're all in the same freaking profession. Why can't we just all love each other no matter where we're at? And that's always been the way I've operated. And people have come back and said that to me as well. Like, you still loved me and supported me, even though we were in different companies and I was over here and you were over here. And I always remembered that about you. And I've been feeling a certain way. And I feel like I need to move on myself and I want to join you. And people remember you for your kindness. And out of anything and everything that we could be in this world, we should all choose to be kind to one another.
Absolutely. This is so well said. It's like, what can I add to this? Not much. But listening to you, I just thought it's like jobs, we don't do that. If you change jobs, you stay, your friends remain your friends. It's
Right.
like your friends beyond your job. And yes, in our industry, sometimes you get closer to people, and because you change companies, you lose those people, and it is sad. It is
It
sad
is.
because, and you know what, on the other end, I do get that some people leave some companies in very unethical ways and they do things that are not okay. But,
Right.
if you are leaving and you're changing and you're doing it in an ethical way, the rest should say that you are still the kind person that you were. And, everything that you said over the past years for the other company, you meant it well, you said it.
Yeah.
And now it's evolution. I think
It
that
is.
should be the title of that podcast, evolution.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
it really is. And, it's like I said, just be kind and understand that people will always make the best decision for themselves and their families and others moving forward. They're not, a lot of people, I think they take it personal, right? Because, well, we were in business together and you want to leave and I'm, and it's like, it's not personal. It's personal to me. It's not a personal attack against you. I still love you. I'm still wanting to be friends with you. Like, but you have to do everything that you do and operate in a moral and ethical way. You have to have a moral compass and you have to leave things on a good foot. And at least at the end of the day, even when the hate comes or people try to bash you, you know that you did the right thing and you did it the right way. And that's truly what it's about when you decide to move to a different company and really plant roots, and I'm really excited to do that with Bellamy. So that's
yes,
where
because
I'm
you are
that's where
starting
I'm
a
at.
new journey right now.
Yeah.
After 23 years, you're starting a new journey. And I admire you for that. Because again, like I said, you're starting from scratch and you didn't have to do that because you were very successful where you were. And, but for your personal reasons, you decided to do that. And for me, I have only admiration for you. And I really wish you only the best. And we're going to come back on this company in a second. But the thing that I want to go on that you mentioned is really doing the best for you. And earlier in the podcast you mentioned people are not paying your bills, and that's a big part of what we need to keep in the forefront of our mind, is that people's opinions don't pay your bills,
No, they
and
don't.
you have to do what's best for you and your family.
Amen.
Amen. Yes. So let's talk about this new company that you're going with. What's triggers the excitement for you?
Oh, so much, so much. It's a lot of innovation. I admire the CEO's heart so much. She has 25 years experience in our profession, both at a corporate level and at a top leadership level in different companies. And her husband, he is the owner of an Inc. 500 company, and he's built the entire website for the business. And so there's so much marketing and technology built into it. And if you know me, I'm such a tech geek, it's not even funny. Like, I love smart technology. It just blows my mind. It makes me super happy because it simplifies your business, you know? And so there's that. And then there's the fact that they have omni marketing. And let's face it, there's a lot of people that like to do what we do, but they like to do it very differently. There are some people, they like to come in for a discount. There's some people that they really want to grab the bull by the horns and they want to work that business. Then you have those that are like affiliate marketers, and you have influencers, right? And so there's a difference between the different genres and what they want. And if you know affiliates and a lot of influencers out there, they don't like to be tied to one specific brand or one specific company. They like to represent different things from different places. And there's still so many companies out there. They run in a very archaic dinosaur sort of thinking way, and they want you to be solely focused on them and them only. You're not allowed to look left and you're not allowed to look right. And that's not fair. You as a company should never be able to dictate how my household and how I make an income for my family, period. And so that's what I really love about this company, is the fact that there is no restrictions. There are no rules. You can represent anything that you want and still work this company at the same time. And so that to me is true brand freedom. That's true freedom for you and how you want to move forward with your business, with your life, who you serve. And everybody from A to Z is happy. They're not like, oh, well, why can't I do this? And what, there's none of that. It's just, it's beautiful. And the way that the innovative comp plan has been written, it's really incredible. So you have the chance to earn up to 40% here, and it's volume based, and it's not so you have to have this many, quote unquote ranks and all that. Like, that comes kind of later on in the comp plan, but for the beginning to the middle, it's really based off of how you want to work your business, and it gives you the freedom to do that.
Well, I'm happy that you found what suits you, and I really wish you all the best with this company.
Thank you.
Renee, what would you leave our listeners with today?
At the end of the day, it's all about evolution. It's the topic of the podcast, right? It's all about evolution. And if you find yourself in a place, in a space where you are feeling like you are in a padded room with a straitjacket on, and you feel like you're going to lose your mind because you feel trapped, you feel suffocated, never ever be scared to do what's best for you and your family and future people who will join you. Like, do what's best, do what feels in your soul and your mind and your heart and your gut. If it's all checking off, then that's what you need to do. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't, because I'm here to tell you that yes, you can. And if I can do it, you can do it. And that's truly it. Just go live your life, live your best life, love what you do, connect and be fully aligned in what you're doing. And that's it.
Renee Vasquez, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will put all of your information with the podcast, but where can people reach out to you?
ReneeVasquez.com.
There you go. Simple. And I will put it with the podcast. To everyone who was here this week, thank you so much. And Renee, I really wish you only the very best. And I know you will get it, because
you as well, my love. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. And to everyone, have a beautiful week.